I know the feeling. You see a $150 pool robot on a flash sale site, you think you've snagged a bargain, and a week later you're staring at a tangled hose, a half-clean pool and a manual that reads like a cryptic crossword. Cheap alternatives often disappoint after purchase, leaving you with more chores than you bargained for. That's why I wanted to see if the Aiper Scuba X1 Pro Max feels like a smarter buy, or if it's just another pricey promise. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the hesitation that keeps most homeowners on the fence. A pool isn't just a summer accessory, it's an investment in your home's value and your family's leisure time. When you spend a few $100s on a cleaning robot, you expect it to actually take the work off your hands, not add a new set of problems. The biggest risk is picking a robot that can't handle your pool's shape, size, or debris load, which forces you back to the old routine of scooping leaves and scrubbing walls. The Scuba X1 Pro Max tries to address those pain points by bundling a Caddy, wireless charging, and a dual filtration system, but does it deliver where it counts? I spent a couple of weekends testing the X1 in a 15 by 30 foot Inground pool that sees a mix of sand, pollen, and occasional pool toys. The first thing I noticed is how the robot docks itself on the smart surface parking pad. It's not the first robot to have a charging base, but the magnetic alignment feels more reliable than the plastic clips you see on cheaper models. When it settles onto the pad, the robot snaps into place, the LEDs turn green, and the charging indicator lights up. That little visual cue gave me confidence that it would actually stay charged between runs, which is something I've missed with other budget units that seem to lose power after a single cleaning cycle. The suction power, advertised at 8,500 GPH, is enough to pull sand and small debris into the primary filter without stalling. In practice, I ran the robot for a full hour while the pool was littered with a light layer of fallen pine needles after a windy afternoon. The robot navigated around the ladder and the shallow steps without getting stuck, and the water looked noticeably clearer by the end of the cycle. The dual filtration system, a coarse filter followed by an ultrafine cartridge, means that larger debris is captured first, allowing the fine filter to focus on microscopic particles. I emptied the coarse basket after each run and noticed that the fine cartridge needed cleaning only after 3 to 4 cycles, which is a decent cadence for a household that pools a few times a week. Smart mapping and adaptive cleaning sounded impressive on paper, but the real test is whether the robot actually learns the pool's layout. The X1 scans the perimeter and creates a map that it references during subsequent runs. In my case, the robot seemed to remember the location of the return jet and adjusted its path to avoid pushing water back into the same spot. It also slowed down automatically when it detected a higher debris concentration near the deep end, giving the brushes more time to work. That adaptive behavior is a step up from the random bounce pattern of cheaper robots that often miss corners or repeat the same path over and over. Now, who should consider buying this robot? If you own an Inground pool of medium size, roughly 10,000 to 15,000 gallons, and you're tired of manually skimming leaves or vacuuming the floor, the X1 Pro Max offers a solid middle ground between entry-level models and high-end, $1,500+ machines. Its cordless operation, thanks to the wireless charging dock, means you don't have to wrestle with a long power cord every time you set it up. Families with kids who leave toys in the water will appreciate the robot's ability to navigate around obstacles without constantly stopping. Also, if you value a cleaner that reduces chemical usage because clearer water needs fewer sanitizers, the dual filtration system helps you get there. On the flip side, there are scenarios where the X1 might not be worth the price tag. If you have a very large pool over 20,000 gallons or an irregular shape with multiple levels, the robot's 8,500 GPH suction could struggle to finish a full clean in a reasonable time, and you might need a more powerful unit. Also, if you're looking for a set and forget solution that runs entirely on a timer without any manual mode selection, you'll find that the X1 requires you to choose between standard, eco, or turbo each time you start a cycle. That isn't a deal breaker, but it does add a small step to the workflow. Speaking of practical weaknesses, the Caddy that comes with the robot is convenient for storage, but the wheels are made of soft plastic that can slip on wet concrete. When I moved the Caddy from the poolside patio to the garage, it left a few scratches on the floor. It's a minor inconvenience, but something to